Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to attempt to rescue this dwarf peach tree right here that's in the ground. If you haven't followed my channel before, I'm doing a very extensive re-landscape job on a 2/10 of an acre urban yard in Raleigh, North Carolina, Zone 7B. This dwarf peach tree was already in the ground, and it is in way too much shade. There's a maple in a neighbor's yard right here beside it. There was another maple over here, so it was shaded on both sides originally, and it's planted way too deep. There's actually lichen growing on it, and it needs to be saved. Haven't dealt with it because I've had so many other things going on, and I need to plant these 3 fragrant sweet box are going in this space, and finally time to do something about this. And what I'm going to actually do about it is I'm going to actually pull it out of the ground, and I'm going to plant it into a container and try to revive it that way, rather than taking a struggling plant and going somewhere else in the yard and putting it back, directly into my clay-based soil here, which it probably doesn't like anyway. I'm going to put it into a container, try to revive it during this spring and summer growing season, which I know I can do. It just needs sun and it needs well-drained soil and a little bit of fertilizer. And I think that by fall of next year, it'll be ready to go back in the ground, and I'll find a sunny spot for it and make sure it's elevated when it's replanted, because like I say, right now it's planted way too deep. I'll give you a close-up of how deep this thing's actually planted. So here's the base of this tree here, and I can just go down and down and down, digging here, and I can still see the stem of the plant, and the graft actually is down there somewhere, so I got to get the graft unburied. I'm going to dig this thing up and put it into this just basic plastic container here. The soil that I'm using is actually just a compost and pine bark blend. It needs, when you're rescuing something like this, it potentially has a little bit of root rot. I would not put it into some sort of peat-based potting mix, because that's going to stay abnormally, it's going to stay wet. So again, this is just a fine pine bark. You may should be some sort of potting mix wherever you're shopping for potting mixes that has a thicker consistency to it. It's going to be better drained. You could mix some permatil or something like that, or even some perlite, some additional perlite into some potting soil. That may create some additional drainage. But no matter what, I just don't want to put it into a heavy peat-based potting soil that I'd be using for something like annuals, petunias or something like that. This peach is not going to like that. So again, I'm just going to pop it out of the ground, get it planted into here, and get some fertilizer on it, and hope for the best this spring. I'm going to water it in well today, and then I need to let it dry out between waterings. So I don't know if you could tell, but the entire shovel plus part of the part of the shaft where it attaches to the handle there went down in the ground around that thing. It was kind of crazy, but I got it out. The roots are just barely this big. I mean, it probably could fit in a 2-gallon pot or something like that. It's been in the ground for a long, long time. So hopefully getting it elevated into a container that's better drained will allow it to reestablish some roots pretty quickly. Once I get it rooted into this container during this season, then I will I'll get it back in the ground in the fall, or maybe put it in a more decorative container. This is not a very decorative container. This is just I was thinking a temporary fix, and now I'm thinking maybe it'd make a great container plant in general. Super cold hardy. I now have the graft raised up above the soil, and I fertilized it with some Osmocote, which is a slow release fertilizer. If you see me fertilize anything in the ground here, it's always going to be organic fertilizers. In containers like this, I just want something that's going to release just a tiny bit of fertilizer consistently to this plant all season, and this is about a 6-month slow release fertilizer. That should be about the right amount. It's in late January when I'm doing this. Has the potential still to be pretty cold here for the next few weeks, so this pot could kind of freeze pretty solid. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm just going to put it up against the house as it warms up in later February. I'll put it someplace out in the sun, and hopefully it wakes back up and looks great by the end of this first growing season. thanks for following along with my videos, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can see updates on this dwarf peach and how it recovers during 2021. Thanks for watching.